So yesterday I realized I fucked up in a couple of my videos. I go through my videos every now and then just to see how I did, see how I can improve, and I realized in two of my videos that I posted I fucked up. It's annoying when you fuck up during recording and then you restart from the beginning, but it's even more sad when you post it and you realize, oh shit, I fucked up somewhere. I thought I double checked it, and it's like, great. So this is what I'm gonna do. If I see I fuck up in a video, I'm gonna do this. Fix a fuck up, take whatever. I'm gonna try to minimize these as much as possible, but they're gonna happen. There's bound to be more than one of these. So on topic. First video, Gravekeeper's back in the meta. Now, I basically mentioned 4 important cards about the deck, about Gravekeepers that came out in Legacy of Valiant. I didn't bother going into Heraldic, Assembler, or Nobleman because those cards are self-explanatory. We already know what's going to happen. You're going to have at least 1 Heraldic. Assailants are coming out. Ambushers are coming in. You can have at least 2 Noblemen and 2 Recruiters. Great, it's great stuff. But I failed to kind of bring up the topic as if the cards are going to go back in the meta. So on that note, yes, I think the cards are going to be back in meta. I think these cards are going to see more play again, and they're going to be a bit more heavy than they were before. The Gravekeepers were already starting to somewhat come back because of prophecies, dragons, and stuff like that. They were already starting to see a little bit of play because those were stuff that kind of countered it. Evil Forms kind of made more use of Necro Valley going against dragons in the first place, but still. But so, factor everything, yes, I think Gravekeepers are going to come back in the meta. That being said, I also still think that they're going to get hit as well. Because literally the only things they ever got hit was 1 Book of Moon and 1 Royal Tribute, which that didn't really change anything. People weren't really running Royal Tribute to begin with anyway. They cite them depending on what deck they go up against. But now they're just going to have the 1. Still, doesn't matter. These new monsters might get hit. Anyway, next video. When I mentioned my only non-Yu-Gi-Oh video so far, Music Artists Are Not Gods. I mentioned that pop culture kind of affects more on like the designer appearance when performing on stage or on TV more than it does in the metal genre. I said I would get to that, and I never did. So let me use an example, and again, back on the whole, no, trying to stay neutral and everything. This isn't me hating on this artist or anywhere or artist in this type of genre. You ever see the Miley Cyrus thing on national TV, twerking with the dude that looked like fucking Beetlejuice? Okay, let me first of all, none of that was attractive. None of that. That was, you see that and you're like, holy shit. I'm sorry, none of that was attractive. You were basically wearing undergarments, and that undergarments looked like that one woman from Prometheus. Just saying. The one that has the alien abortion, whatever, because of some plot twist, drugs a drink, and whatever. If you haven't seen the movie, go see it. You'll see what I'm saying. It's a good movie. There's logical errors in it, but it's a science fiction movie. What do you expect? Anyway, back on topic. Media and society kind of reflects more off of pop music than it does in rock and metal. Usually you go to like anywhere in society, you hear more pop and hip hop and stuff like that around your average area in society than you would hear rock or metal. There might be 1 or 2 places if you go anywhere that would probably play it off the radio, but you hear more of other rock. Less and more on pop and hip hop. Now, the fact that that society kind of revolves around that more, they kind of grasp the attention that you perform on stage like that is okay until the fan base of that starts doing that. Now, I'm saying this in terms on a more parental figure. I'm not a parent, but like I see certain things, I'm just thinking, you know what, that makes absolutely no sense. You know, if that was if I was that age, or me or my sister were at that age, and that shit happened, we would probably get the shit kicked out of us. I'm just saying, for dressing as replicating the pop artists or whatever thing. This mostly revolves around like the girls and the girl fans of that area. Now, see, and a lot of times it doesn't even fit the theme. Pop artists and stuff like that don't really have like a theme to their music a lot of times. Rock and like metal and everything kind of do, and usually a lot of times the kind of style of outfit usually kind of coincides with the music they play. Now, back to like Black Veil Brides, when they did We Stitch These Womb albums and Set the World on Fire, yes, you had the war paint and everything, and like all like the chains and like the whole like complete gothic look, and then kind of Wretch and the Vine, Sword of the Wild Ones, they kind of changed it up, kind of used less, kind of got more comfortable performing without it. But I mean, the style of clothing they still wore within both sets still revolved around it. It fit the decor theme of the genre they were playing. Now, I'm not saying this as the terms like to counteract when I say look shouldn't matter when having a favorite band, because I'm talking about, when I said that, I'm talking about more are they in general attractive regardless of what they're wearing. Now, if people find like Miley Cyrus attractive, whatever, but that video kind of made her look a bit sluttish. I know that sounds kind of strong, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with her having an adult life. She's an adult like anyone else. But I mean, she's on national TV doing shit like that, wearing shit like that. None of that was attractive. I mean, I think if you go back to her like Disney era, I mean, she somewhat had a theme in a matter of speaking. And I think in her evolution, she kind of strayed off the path. And usually, a lot of times, pop artists kind of, not all, some, will kind of do that. I think the pop artists kind of revolve around a more sexual terms in their appearances. And a lot of times, fan base around that, not all fan base, but some kind of get misguided. And then they try to imitate or replicate the style of clothing that they were wearing on stage, and some of that is kind of questionable if you were to go out in like society. Now, me saying that, I have to kind of pull some of that back, because if I try to fully agree with that, I'm a hypocrite, because I will wear, black clothes, chains, leather gloves, leather stuff like that in general, but at the same time, it's like I don't overkill. There's nothing wrong with kind of replicating an appearance from a pop singer and such forth, but there is such a thing as going overboard and overkilling it, and that's what mostly kids, mind you, in this generation will tend to do. I'm not going to be the one to say whether they should or not. I'm just stating a more opinion based that it is kind of messed up. Because it's like, parents, you look back in your day and you saw, and you think, if you were to wear shit like that, you'd probably think, well, my parents would beat the shit on me. And yeah, I mean, and you see stuff like that, and it's like, you don't want your daughter dressing like that, going this somewhere. You knows what shit's gonna happen. I'm just saying. And I say this to, the metal genre too, because there are times that some of them do go overboard with it, but it happens. But so, I mean, pop artists, mostly pop artists, and some in the rock and metal genres too, and especially the fan base around that. And like I said, music artists are not gods, so we should not be worshiping them, which means you can have a fan base and you can try to mimic or replicate their appearance as being a loyal fan of the artist, but don't overkill it as if the whole thing kind of like revolves around it, because a lot of times that is going overboard. It is overkill. You're trying too hard, using too much. So, like Miley Cyrus, some of that, I don't know what you're doing now. I really don't give a shit. Just, bring it back. Kind of go back, kind of lean back towards your path. Rock bands, metal bands, you know who you are. If by some random odd chance you see this, bring it back to just to kind of set the balance. So anyway, thank you for watching. I know this kind of video and stuff like shit like this is kind of pointless, but yeah, well, click a few ads. It's gonna help me earn the money. You got big plans to do amongst this and other things, and it's better than me soliciting you for real money. Well, you know what it is. People have to be held accountable for their own fuck ups and do what they do to fix them. That's what I will do.